So what are we doing? We're going to go see some customers or what?
Let's go see some customers.
All right, let's do this.
Hi guys, last stop of the trip. We're here at the exciting new warehouse of Penrith Solar Centre, out here at Penrith. Got Jake Warner. I'm back here with Sean. We're going to ask some questions. Sean, I'll leave it over to you, mate.
Thank you, Sam, and thank you, Jake.
Thank you. Thanks for coming out.
Before I get into my pre-scripted questions, can I just say, this place is fucking insane. I mean, seriously.
Yeah.
What's going on?
Thank you, mate. We've been working hard.
Yeah.
We've been working hard. I feel like this is probably the brainchild of 7 years plus, you know, just thinking about what's the best way to do this? You know, how do we turn solar from something that's seen to be so nasty in some people's eyes into a proper retail experience? You know, how can someone come in here 7 days a week and buy solar and feel like they're shopping at like a Good Guys or an Apple store or, you know, a Tesla dealership? Like, how can we bring that into solar? So I guess that's where the showrooms come from. Every little detail, I wanted attention to detail to be so high, like, because that's reflective of everything we do when we install solar, you know, down grinding tiles, cable clips. It's all about attention to detail. That's what makes us who we are. So we wanted to show that in the showroom, and beyond the showroom, well, that just had to come. You know, with this and what we're building, we expect you know, to grow exponentially, or around double is our plan, and that's a scripted plan. We've had that mission for the last 4 years or so. We know we want to do 15,000 homes by 2025. So to do that, this is what we need to do that. This is our support, and this is our team's home. This is a place where they feel safe and comfortable, and a place where they can make calls, and it's free of judgment, and it's a beautiful place. It's a place of being completely centered. So it's the ultimate place to serve people and deliver the best renewable energy experience, in my opinion.
It's funny that you say that, because I went and stalked your reviews.
Yeah.
And one of the things that I found was something that kept coming up was the workmanship, the attention to detail. And you said those very words yourself just then, right?
Yep.
What's with that? Is that you just, like, you always been quite pedantic about things, or?
Yeah. Well, I'm an electrician by trade myself. You know, Jory, my install manager, and we installed the first ever system, and still, some people would doubt it, but can still get up on the roof and install a system. You know, the RMs come off and the work boots go on. But mate, it was always, we never built our reputation off being fast. We never built our reputation off you know, taking shortcuts. We built our reputation off delivering really high quality solar systems, and we believe that's one thing we've truly been able to embed in the culture at Penrith Solar is quality. It's never fast, it's never 2 jobs a day. It's accurate, it's sharp, and it's as good as it gets. And you know, we're so committed to quality and attention to detail. Like, not only do you see this showroom, which makes people feel like we know what we're doing, I guess, but customers can also walk upstairs. We've got a 280 square metre training facility, which is one of the first in the solar industry. I don't think too many people or solar companies specifically have an in-house training centre. So we've got a tile roof going in and a tin roof, and we're going to actually take everyday humans, turn them into what we call solar athletes, train them before they will go out and learn on someone's roof. You know, we don't have room for error like that. We don't want people necessarily learning on a roof, although it's great to learn in the real world. We want to provide them with the training and gear them up so that they've got the confidence to go out and deliver, you know, what we call a perfect finish every time, straight from day one.
So you're talking about tradesmen you'll be training?
Our goal is always to you know, graduate our own apprentices. It's a really big deal for us to have an apprentice that finishes their apprenticeship and has learnt the Penrith Solar Centre way through the years. You know, we nurture them and we want to bring them on as tradesmen, and they don't normally need any sort of electrical training. They've had 4 years of it, sometimes even a little longer. We train those guys in a different way, that we then want to enter leadership sort of training with those guys. So once you're a CSC accredited electrician at Penrith Solar, there's a pretty high chance you're a team leader. So what we do is we get fresh first years, and we like to train those guys. We also take what I would call orphan apprentices, which is an apprentice that, you know, during COVID there was a lot of them. Their employer said, well, there's no work for us, you know, and they might have got laid off. but they might be a really, really good person. You know, just because they've lost their job doesn't mean you know, that they're not a good person, and we see that in them. So we'll bring them in and we'll give them the training that they may not have had, and you know, we'll do it upstairs in the training facility. But the other big one that we're doing at the moment is solar roofers. So a little bit of a you know, you can literally take anyone in the world, you know, male, female, 16 years old or 58 years old, it doesn't matter. If they've got the attitude we need and the work ethic and the skills to treat a customer the way that they treat their own parents, which is, they're our values, you know. If we find someone with our values, we'll take anyone. There's nothing to it. And we will literally train them to do everything on the roof. You know, obviously they're not apprentices and they're not electricians, so they're not doing electrical work, but they certainly can, you know, work with Clenergy racking, and they can grind tiles, you know, they can do the roofing, and we put them through working at heights straight away, you know, day one, and then straight into training. So that's the sort of people we're training.
That is awesome, man. Seriously, you're doing some good things.
Thank you, mate.
Do you reckon they could install those black rails that you got there hanging off with those lights? Is that? Yeah. I don't remember seeing that in the install manual, by the way.
No, it's not in the install manual, and I reckon if you look closely, you'd probably pick on the clamping zones. But I did those with two apprentices, two of our first years actually, and we had a ball doing that. It was pretty tricky to measure those lights. We found centre. We worked from the pole outwards, so the goal was to get the pole, make sure the light was evenly spread around the pole, and wherever it ended up elsewhere is where it ended up. And when you look around the room, we got pretty lucky, like especially these lights up here, sliding down the side of the aircon and just around the building, you know, we actually got lucky. But the truth is we measured the centre bit and out we went. But yeah, the Clenergy racking, I mean, just another one of the 6 trillion uses for racking. You know, you can, I know Mick from iBoards, you know, he's got it as skirting apparently in his office. I'm going to have to go check that out. Yeah. But you can use it for anything. It's so universal. It's such a beautiful, strong, structured product. It's so light. The colour is deep and rich. You know, it's just a high quality product, and you know, we're proud to show that off in our showroom. And we weren't sure how we were going to mount these lights. These lights come from China. They just said mount them using cable ties, and I'm like, to what? So yeah, we got the racking out and off we went. So it was fun. I mean, it's the same as what it is on a roof, right? You can level it, you can make it perfect. We set a laser up on the window, and we lasered every single point of fixing, so it's literally perfect to the millimetre. So
this kind of, the style of the showroom here, it sort of reminds me of that 4 pillars thing that you guys did for the shopping centre,
the home show booth.
The home show, that's right.
Yep, it is very much designed off that, or not designed off that, but it was designed to keep our experience consistent. You know, we don't, like, for us, if we're talking Clenergy, we don't offer like silver rail. Like, we want our experience to be consistent, so everyone gets black every time, even if they don't know about it or they don't ask for it. That's a Penrith Solar Centre experience. The curved reception desk, that's the exact same experience when you'll come see us at the Sydney Home Show. It's a curved reception desk, the black on black, almost to the point where it's the same paint code. LED lights is exactly the same colour temperature as what our LEDs are in our home show booth. So for me, I want a consistent experience. You'll notice the home show booth has a lot of curves in the 4 pillars of PSC, and that's where the curves of the showroom come from as well. So if someone sees us with that in the plaza or at the home show or wherever it might be, they can come in here and go, yeah, this is it. You know, this is the same. So yeah, there was a deliberate correlation between the two.
So I feel pretty proud that Clenergy is one of those 4 pillars. And thank you for that and your support over the years.
No problem.
What I'd like to know is, you know, when you're selecting one of these products or these solutions that becomes one of these main pillars for your business, right? What are the key traits that you look for in a supplier or a manufacturer of whether it's a panel or an inverter or a piece of racking? What's the things that are important to you in that? Yeah,
good question. I think there are some very obvious ones. You know, service. We want the company to share values that we share as well. You know, one of the things I love about Clenergy, it's a family-started business. You know, And for me, that sort of hits home for me, because I hope that one day I can give this legacy on to my children. You know, I started myself. My dad's a glass bottle maker. He still sometimes tells me I'm crazy for being in solar, and he's probably right. But I hope that, you know, I can give that, and family's one of my big values. It's also, you know, supply. Where is it made? How is it made? Who are we dealing with? You know, what are the relationships going to be like? Relationships are a really big one as well. How can we build a relationship with a supplier? I remember when I first started PSC, I went and knocked on Sam's door and told him I was going to do a whole heap of cool stuff, and he's like, okay, cool. and we built a relationship from there. He actually didn't dismiss me like a lot of wholesalers did, which was, thanks for that, Sam. But it was the start of our relationship. And, you know, over the 4 years now that we've used Clenergy Solid, we've built a relationship. And, you know, I've built a relationship with Clenergy's marketing team and all the guys. And that's important to me, you know, to have that relationship. And ultimately that's backing. And I know that if our clients have any issues, or we have any issues with the product, it's fixed really, really fast because of our healthy, strong relationship. Even the other day, Mick was here and we were talking about literally designing a new clip. You know, we want a clip to suit a specific use, and I know it's already sort of in the works. It's going to move fast, and I value that. I value that it's relationships. Moving on from that, it would be like, visually, what does it look like? You know, what is this product? How are my customers going to perceive this product? Does it look like everything else on the market? You know, is it branded like everything else on the market? In 2022, you know, we're in an era of Instagram, we're in an era of TikToks, YouTubes, all this sort of stuff. And as crazy as it sounds, we get the most likes or response on our video when it's beautiful, it's visual. Like when people can see the before and after, the transformation, like you go bare roof, Clenergy racking, panels, boom, finished. People love that, they love seeing that. So although it is under a panel, it is important that it is finished well and it looks nice. Yeah, they're probably the main things. You know, we do, you know, we obviously have the price discussion. Everyone has the price discussion, but it's not my top 3 reasons why I select products. Yeah.
And just speaking about that, obviously Penrith Solar Centre, you guys are a quality installer. Clenergy is a quality product.
Yeah.
Do you want to just speak about how you guys have used that quality product and how that resonates with your customers?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, of course. So, yeah, Penrith Solar Centre is, you know, what we think is a very, very high quality installer, and we naturally want to pair with high quality products. We would not, my analogy, the first one that comes to mind is like, you would not have a Ferrari and put E10 in a Ferrari. If you're going to have a Ferrari, you're going to put the best fuel you possibly can into the Ferrari for it to perform at its optimum. So not only, you know, do we expect or we train our staff to the highest level, there's no point them being the very best if we're using inferior products. So naturally when we do our selection, you know, we're training our staff as good as we possibly can. We're picking the best products in every single range, whether it be Clenergy, Enphase, Sunpower, you know, Tesla batteries. It's all as good as it can get, and at the same time, great value for money for the customer.
Products is one thing.
Yep.
And in between us and you guys is our wholesaler, and in this case, it's TLE, Greentech, Thornleigh. Extremely important partner of ours.
It is.
And you mentioned, you know, in the early days, you approached Sam and he gave you the time of day.
While it was at Pivotal. I did, mate. I walked into Sam's office at the end of 2016, I think it was, and yeah, he was at Glendenning, somewhere around there, and Blacktown. And yeah, I told him about this idea I had. I told him I was doing some subby work, and I think I can sell it as well as install it. I think I can do it all myself. Oh, mate, you know, there's a lot of people, not Sam, I'm not referencing this, but a lot of people are like, oh, you know, there's a reason it's kept separate and blah, blah, blah. Yeah. A lot of people will doubt you at that stage. And like, part of the reason maybe that we got where we are is a little bit of ignorance as well. You know, I didn't at the time have any responsibility. I didn't have a house. I lived with my parents. You know, I had no debt. I had nothing. All I had was like this idea and this burning desire to create something that was incredible and, you know, support customers better than what was currently happening.
I think that's it. The enthusiasm for the industry as well was a driving factor for you at the start.
I did have that, didn't I? Where'd it go? I still have that. No, I did. I just wanted better. You know, I was getting recognition for good installs, and Sam supported me, and you know, that relationship transpired into what it is today with Greentech, TLE Greentech at Thornleigh. And Sam's team is a big part of what happens. I don't necessarily reach out to Sam every time. Actually, I don't. You know, Jory reaches out to Sam's team, and what I like about Greentech is it gets delivered every time when they say it's going to get delivered. A truck rocks up, Nathan's normally there with a smile ear to ear, and if there's an emergency or if something needs to be delivered, like we've actually had the Greentech team come out and deliver it, even in personal vehicles. Actually, Sam taught me that you can Uber stuff to site. So I now, if I forget something in a job pack or we forget something in a job pack, we won't go to site, we'll Uber it to the site.
Yeah.
So Sam taught me that, and it's that kind of innovation and off the back of the relationship that we have that I appreciate out of Sam and Greentech.
Awesome.
Obviously, Clenergy's got a very diverse range of products. Did you want to just run us through, there's lots of different components that you guys can use on the roof. When has Clenergy got you guys out of trouble?
So Clenergy's product range, we're all about the black. We're all about the Hollywood. I love that, clip lock feeder in black, and we're doing a really nice black on black job today. It's actually down the coast for my auntie. I have this on my own house, obviously, and all my family members, they get it on their houses. And the products that we use, we very much try and McDonald's solar. So for us, we're very, very the same thing over and over again. We have a very strict product range that we use, and so for that we do like when one product can do multiple jobs. The universal clip lock is a really good one. It kind of gets you out of trouble if you're not sure if it's 406 or 700 or whatever it may be. Yeah. The universal clip lock foot, it's a really good thing. It's something we always keep on the shelf. Obviously, a hell of a lot of tin and tile feet. It's good that you can have such few products that cover most roof types. Tilts adjustable, we only keep one range of tilts and they're only black. But we find ourselves not needing actually that many line items to keep the full Clenergy range to service all of our clients.
Yeah.
It's important to us. With the least product we can keep on the shelf, the better. We don't want to keep 600 line items. Like if I can keep 60, I choose to keep 60. So that's important for us.
Have you guys utilised our structural engineering team at all?
Yes.
How have you found that experience?
We recently engaged the structural engineering team to design us the new carport out the front of PSC HQ. Yep. So we're looking to do 4 carport spaces, and it was a really good experience. I got a phone call from the team, kind of unprompted, to be honest. I sort of just mentioned that I was looking at doing a project, and they called me up and said, hey, let's support with this. On the spot, within about half an hour, I knew kind of what we were getting. We spoke about, did we want it watertight? Did we not? How are we going to mount it? Do we need a hand with mounting methods and things like that? Which I find helpful because it's something I actually haven't done before. Yeah. That was a really good experience. The other time we used the engineering team was we did an 8-story building in Penrith, we utilised the engineering team to come up with a solution, like an east-west solution for us, and that was really good. That was a good experience as well. That was a few years back.
Yeah, cool. Something that, I mentioned that I was stalking you guys online, looking at your reviews. They're all real, right? Obviously.
They're 100% real, yeah. We do ask for them though. The trick is a lot of people say like, oh, they must be fake, or how the hell is there so many? It's the same as with most things in life. If you don't ask, you won't receive. So after we finish a job, we ask the customer for their feedback. If it's not perfect feedback, which does happen from time to time again, the key is you must learn from it. You must implement change and you must fix it. You must assess the process. But hopefully most of the time, you're getting that nice pat on the back, which is so important for the team. The team love that sort of feedback. We have an internal group chat, and almost every review gets screenshotted and put in the group chat.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Can you tell me a bit more about your marketing side of things? Like, you don't have to give away any secrets.
No, that's all right. The marketing side. I'm
looking at your guy.
We've got a weapon right here.
Your content guy here. Is it?
Yeah.
Dan,
look, Dan. So Dan actually only started with us a couple of weeks back, and I'm really excited for that because it's a fresh feel. Like the energy that this guy's come on board with. A little story about Dan. So I had a job out.
Maybe Dan, you want to come through the back?
Dan,
here
come over here.
He's filming the.
Yeah, here's Dan. Over on Dan. Don't try and poach Dan. No, so look, we had an ad out for a content creator. We've had a content creator in house for around 2 to 3 years now, and we've had some really, really good ones, and we've had some that probably didn't share the same vision as I did. And so we had maybe 60 applicants for this content creator role, and the first one I clicked on was Dan's video resume. So it was a resume, but it was supported with a video, and I'm like,
awesome.
This guy. And he really hit home because he'd actually stalked me on the gram. He pointed out things that were on my Instagram subtly, and really connected with me through this video, and I'd never met the guy. So straight away I ring him, we have a chat on the phone, he comes down to the warehouse very, very quickly, and I fell in love with him. I'm like, you're it. So I unfortunately didn't get to meet any of the other applicants. I literally took Dan and said, you're coming with me, let's go. So
awesome.
yeah, so here he is. So hopefully, we can have glowing recommendation. Yeah, he'll keep this for life. But mate, look, we really needed a bit of maturity in that position. I think when we're selling to homeowners and we're trying to deliver them this great solution, we need to think how they think. These guys are homeowners. This is going to hit home, and this is not going to be a popular opinion, but Simpsons memes, they don't get you there. You need Simpsons memes.
They don't get you there.
The Simpsons memes, they don't get you across the line. I find it cringe.
Yeah.
You probably don't want to put that on there either, but I'm being honest. But Dan he's brought this level of calm and maturity into our marketing, and I'm really excited to see where we can take this. I think what we're doing right now is scratching the surface. There is layer upon layer, depth upon depth to happen, and I feel my relationship with Dan is a really important one, because when I think of someone in a content creator position, I want to be able to live in their pocket. I want them to follow me. I'm telling Dan, I'm like, hey, let's do a video like a day in the life. What does it look like? You can come to my house and sleep in my bed and video me brushing my teeth. Let's go. And it's like, it's not even weird.
Are you turning into like a David Brandt from The Office type scenario here?
I don't know what it is. Like I've watched people do it, and I've thought it's kind of sometimes cringy, but I think this opportunity doesn't cross every day. And if I wasn't to utilize, or take advantage, if you will, of the relationship that I've found here, mutually beneficial. Dan's building some insanely good content, and he'll be able to take that to the rest of his life. Like, hey, look what we did together. And that's how I feel. So Dan, hopefully we'll be able to build a team under him here, and we want to shoot content every day. We're so committed to it. We've got a content room here. We want to educate people every day. We want to generate leads. We want to help people. We don't just want to help people in Penrith. We want to help all of Australia make an educated decision, because the reality is we can't touch every corner of Australia yet, but we can certainly help every corner of Australia through content creation.
Have you ever thought about
kissing Dan? You're a good man.
Even prompted.
Yeah, what a man.
Have you ever thought about the Penrith Solar Centre name? As in, when you might go global at some point, right?
We spoke about this a while ago. Look, I love it. What I love just as much as Penrith Solar Centre, a lot of people don't know it, but our company name is actually Priority Power Services. So we only trade as Penrith Solar Centre. Priority Power Services was the first electrical company, the only electrical company I ever started.
Right.
So that's pretty close to my heart as well. But I love Penrith Solar Centre. The circles mean a lot to me. 36 is my favourite number. There's 36 circles in this. When I first built the ideal model, how could we help Penrith, I had it at 6 install trucks, and I thought that was what I wanted to create, and that was my first vision. That was in 2019, and ironically, there was 36 team members needed to deliver 6 installs a day, and that was running fairly lean. We have a reasonably powerful back end, so we don't have all that many admin staff, and so it was 1 dot per team member. So I like those signs. That to me, it's like your intuition. Things just line up, and when stuff like that happens, it's like almost magic. So if I ever rebranded, to answer your question, I would still have the same logo, the same circles. My vision is to take away Penrith Solar Centre and just have the circle. That's how strong, what you guys have done. You guys have done that on your uniform. I think that is branding. And one thing that I was really lucky to have when I started PSC was a vision not to create a company, but to create a brand. I had friends that were starting businesses at the same time as me, and they were putting mobile numbers on shirts. And I always used to think, that's crazy. Do you think anyone's ever actually going to stop and read that? It was just a different vision. I wanted to create, a brand where you could take it away and just leave the circles, and then eventually maybe the colors. I don't know how minimalistic you can go with people still identifying who who you are, but I think you can push the boundary pretty far.
Yeah, I mean, like Jim's, you know, it's just his face.
That's right. Woolworths is just the weird apple-looking thing. Like, people have done it, man. People have, and like Clenergy's done it as well.
We're attempting to do it.
You're attempting, but I don't need to read, obviously, because I look at it every day. But I don't need to read Clenergy to know that it's Clenergy. You know, it's cool. I respect that.
Thanks.
So, Jake, the elephant in the room. Tell us a little bit about your new mural.
About the mural, about the artwork. Well, for us, you know, we're saving people money on energy bills. It's what most people come to us for, but there's a deeper reason that we do what we do. And you know, we obviously live on the east coast of Australia, so the mural is a timeline of the east coast of Australia, and it's a timeline from 1850, roughly when electricity come about, all the way to 2050 when we're supposed to be carbon neutral as a nation. The timeline shows you know, the transition in time through weather patterns and carbon levels. So on the left of the timeline, in the early days, you can see the weather is going to be quite stable, very, you know, heavy vegetation. There are some fish there that don't exist anymore. As we move through the middle, you know, we're in the current period. There's a seahorse with a mast hanging off it. You know, there's wildfires up the Three Sisters. There's storms. The weather's out of control. You know, there'll be a thermometer in Australia or Penrith rather, with 49 degrees sticking out of it. Like, and then we come out to 2050 when we've done our job. You know, we've lifted we've done the hard yards. We're carbon neutral, and you know, we're in a far better place than what we are today. You see the reef pumping again, full of life. You know, it's not bleached, and we can recover that. I think it's important to keep that in mind. We can fix what's done, and the only people that are going to fix what's done are people, you know, in my opinion, in renewable energy, things like waste. These are all really important, and I think it's really important. That's why we've invested so much money here. We see the bigger picture, and we want people to be part of the bigger picture with us. So when people walk through the front door, the first thing you actually see is this mural. And when you work out what it is, I think it's really going to hit home for people and realise that what they're doing is actually greater than just saving money on their energy bills. That's really beautiful, man.
What's the next step for Penrith Solar Centre?
Yeah, it's a good question, Sam. The next step for us, like we're not hiding it. You know, we want to do 15,000 homes by 2025, and when I think of the number 15,000, it actually doesn't really sound like that much to me. But when you break it down year on year and day on day, and the actual tasks you've got to do hour by hour to get to 15,000, it is a lot. So we want to do that. We want to deliver 15,000 high quality systems to Penrith and Western Sydney by 2025. That's our current mission. I don't really want to think further than the mission. I believe when you're on a mission, you finish the mission before you rebuild a mission or you come up with a new mission, and we're hyper focused on that. If we get there earlier, that's awesome. It's a very ambitious goal.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's a great goal.
Yeah, and it gives us all a common goal to work towards. You know, when you break it down, you know, year on year, like last year our target was 1,300 systems. You know, and we felt like maybe 20 short. So you know, when you work that out, you times it by 9 kilowatts for our average size. Like we're doing good numbers, and we're feeling like it's under control. I think that's important as well. A lot of solar companies in the past, and I don't want to talk about it or touch wood or anything. Unfortunately, they build so fast without the foundation. It's like building a skyscraper and not going deep enough in the ground. You've got to eat the shit first. You've got to do the foundation work. You've got to do the long hours, and you've got to really set the culture. I think that's a really big part of it as well, and build the relationships like what we have before you can go 36 stories high. You just can't do it. So I hope you know, that we've built the foundation strong enough. I think we've done things differently to what people have done in the past. I believe you know, the team and I have carried a different perspective and attitude towards solar, potentially to what has been done in the past. So yeah, that's our next thing. We want to get to that 2025 mark and then reassess and build from there.
Awesome.
Very exciting stuff, man.
Thank you.
Honestly, thanks again. I'm really proud of you guys, what you've achieved. To walk in here and see this place, it's next level.
Thank you, mate. No, I appreciate it. And I appreciate your support. And your support, Sam. You know, you've done a lot for us over the years. Sam's a pretty funny guy, right? He was saying before, a little story. When we first met Sam, we sat down in Melbourne. Aaron Crasco, who was my first ever sales guy, he taught me that you didn't need to be an electrician to sell solar, and he was 100% right. In fact, I'll even go one step further and tell you it's better not to be an electrician to sell solar. Because yeah, electricians, they're crazy species. Anyway, we sat down with Sam and we had burgers together, and we weren't Sam's customer at this stage. You know, Sam was, he knew what he was doing. He was planting the seed. But we sat down, we finished our burgers, and we looked at Sam, Aaron and I, and we said, "How do you sell solar?" And he looks at me and goes, "What?" and he actually gave us a bit of a crash course, you know, like we were already selling solar. We weren't doing it that well, but we wanted some of Sam's insights. So, you know, I do value Sam's opinion and his support over the years. We held an event once at a school and Sam come and he was the front door rally guy. So yeah, he's always been in our corner, and you know, we're grateful for that.
Awesome. Hey, thanks again, man.
No stress, bro. Thanks so much for coming out.
Cheers.
I'm glad you did. I'm glad you enjoyed it. Can't wait to have you out when it's finished. And yeah,
Very much looking forward to it.
Get you to come to the opening.
Absolutely.
Be the door guy.
Thanks.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate
Penrith
it.
Solar. Woo! Thanks again, cutters. I hope you enjoyed the content. Remember to caress that like button and the subscribe button, and stay sexy. Ciao. Check out more episodes from Convos with Clenergy. Slap that subscribe button now. Cheers, cutters.